So a lot of people thought that for sure this would be the end of Donald Trump. It would be end of Donald Trump's entire presidency. He went to war with Iran, something no one saw coming, which is a lie. He's literally said he was planning on doing this for 20 years. All right, he's been saying this forever. However, it turns out new major poll just found that Republicans surged 8 points in the 2026 congressional ballot. It's now tied 50-50 with the Democrats. We were previously 8 points behind, but now, because, actually people like the idea of flying across the world, killing international dictators, all right, that have been massacring their own people, threatening our people, and killing our people. This is an objectively good thing, and the normal people see that, right? No normal person is being here like, actually, this violated international law. No one's fucking saying that shit, all right? That's literally only on Twitter, where they get a lot of likes from Islamic bots from Pakistan or England or wherever they come from. So now, crazy update for the war. 2 days ago, the Iran regime had 11 ships in the Gulf of Oman. Today, they have 0. The Iranian regime had harassed and attacked international shipping in the Gulf of Oman for decades. Those days are over. Freedom of maritime navigation has underpinned American and global economic prosperity for more than 80 years. U.S. forces will continue to defend it. They had 11 ships, and they currently have 0. As you can see, this was their last boat. They touched our boats, and now all their boats are gone. This is so sad. So sad. Activate the Goy Beam, General. Hit them with the discombobulator. And they got discombobulated. As you can see, unclassified footage. They know they're like, we the Iranian Navy was a deadly threat to themselves. There currently is no more Iranian Navy. All right. For other updates in just war developments, confirmed the parliament in Iran has been destroyed in the recent round of airstrikes. All right, so they lost everything. They're trying to make believe that this is their master plan is actually to die as martyrs. All right, well, we're working together on that master plan, it seems. Right, Iran continues to maliciously launch ballistic missiles indiscriminately targeting military and civilian locations throughout the region. U.S. forces remain on the hunt to eliminate the threat. As the president said, our resolve has never been stronger. And we are obliterating their ballistic missile systems. We're like, not only is this objectively the best thing we could be doing for America, but it is objectively a force for good for literally everyone. All right, these retards have been the source of instability in the Middle East for 47 years. All right, aside from massacring their own people and the people around them and starting all these freaking wars through Hamas, through Hezbollah, through the Houthis, through all these other bullshits. They destroyed Yemen. They destroyed Iraq. They are subjugating 90 million people in Iran that want to be free of this nightmare. And we are doing objectively, by the grace of God, a fantastically morally good thing by killing terrorist dictator pedophiles. I'm sorry, this is unbelievable. But what about Cenk? But Cenk is a fat Turkish man who's in our country that's really mad about this for some reason. Well, then Cenk can continue to have bad days because by the grace of God, we're gonna continue fucking killing terrorists. That's right. Read your Bible. This is not only moral, but the idea of kicking the ass of these retards is biblical. Yeah, I see some real special gay people talking about how, but it says thou shalt not murder in the Bible. No. You misunderstand. Murder is unlawful killing. The Bible explicitly talks multiple times about how you go to war and you annihilate your enemy. All right? We're not handling the same issue here, it seems. Read Samuel, all right? Read Kings, all right? When God sends us to war, God demands victory and complete victory. And let's not forget, we would not be here if these retards literally didn't decide to build a nuclear weapon to try and kill us. Like, I'm not exaggerating, and we're gonna see what the president and Marco Rubio has to say about this. Now, for other war updates, apparently Israel has been planning this operation to kill Ayatollah Khomeini since 2001. Oh my God. Israel hacked in Tehran's traffic cameras. Tehran is the capital of Iran. Used AI to download the Iranian supreme leader's life pattern before assassinating him in his compound with a barrage of 30 missiles. CIA also provided a human source to verify the location of the Ayatollah before Israel struck, aiding the attack. I am so happy these are our allies. All right, listen, man, this is honestly incredible stuff. It's insane. Now, apparently Israel is carrying out a ground operation in Iran involving Mossad and special forces, which also is incredible for us. As I said the entire time, I do not want our American troops on the ground in Iran. I would like us to provide our aerial and maritime support, blow the fuck out of these retards from the air, from the sky, from the sea. I don't want her to step foot on the ground. I don't want us to be involved in installing democracy or whatever, let them handle that shit, all right? But if Israel wants to, then God bless our allies and let's hope they succeed, all right? I just don't want to be stuck in the Middle East in a forever war forever. This is what I've been said the entire time. I stand by it. I have never wavered on my position here at all. Iran is an existential threat. Installing democracy would be really nice. Now, we need, as an America first position, we need to remove the existential threat. We need to get rid of their ballistic missiles, get rid of their nuclear capabilities, and obliterate the current regime. Now, whatever they do with the pieces as it falls, that's on them, and I wish them the best of luck, and I'm happy that we could assist in liberating these people from this terrorist dictator. I don't want another Iraq, and this isn't another Iraq. And everyone's screaming about Iraq, 10 years of war, blah, blah, blah. They're all retarded. Don't listen to the noise. Cut through that shit. Of course, this is what Iran's been doing to Israel lately. This is just from one volley. They've been doing this like 10 times a day. Each one of these is another area where one of their ballistic missiles are targeted. Thank God, most of them are being intercepted. This barrage, for example, was all intercepted. However, this is what they're doing. This is just targeting civilians willy-nilly everywhere. And they've been doing this everywhere. They haven't just been doing this to Israel. They've been doing this to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates. They've been doing it to Qatar. They've been blasting everyone all around them, spazzing out. Like, it's almost like they're terrorists or something. Now, this is the NATO secretary, all right? And this was a surprise to me. I did not expect this at all. But the NATO secretary comes out swinging that, yes, actually killing terrorist pedophile dictators that support all forms of terrorism is a good thing.
First of all, say that my thoughts are with the service members, the U.S. service members who made the ultimate sacrifice over the last couple of days. And let me also say that the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, President Donald J. Trump...
God! Man, could you imagine under Biden if they would have called him the leader of the free world? God, it's so good to be back.
I really commend what is happening here. Taking out Khamenei, taking out the nuclear capability in Iran, but also taking out the ballistic missile program in Iran. This is crucial. And what I see in Europe, I spoke with all the key European leaders over the weekend, is widespread support for what the president is doing, and also making sure that when it comes to logistics, access, defending key US interests in Europe and in the region, the Europeans are really stepping up.
Yeah, so obviously the Eurocucks didn't want to do anything before this happened. They were scared of blowback, especially England. As I covered in my previous video, England is occupied territory at this point. They don't want to piss off their majority party of Muslims. It seems like the only Islamic country still on the side of Iran is England, ironically. But scarily enough, NATO took our side. Now, the UN, which is also Islamically occupied, was crashing out on us, right? The UN was like, no, it's an illegal war. It's illegal under international law. Well, send in the international law police, okay? Wee woo. Where's the international law police coming to arrest us for international law crimes, okay? No one gives a shit. This isn't real, okay? International law is fake and gay. I've said this the entire time. I'll say it again. International law was invented by retards to try to contain and control powerhouses. That's literally what it was designed for. It was designed to give a vote to a tribe in Africa that eats every third baby, okay, to have voting power, to veto us, the United States of America, to operate in our own best interests. International law is not actually real, all right? It's not real. It's never been real. It's this giant facade that they use to control us. It's fake and it's gay. And if they are planning on obliterating us with nukes and attempt to assassinate Trump multiple times, quite literally, fuck them. I'm happy they're all dead. That's right. Oh, but international law, but voting. I don't care. I'm happy they're dead. W. Huge W. Big orange W. But anyway, the Israeli UN ambassador shredded the UN over this.
The UN Secretary General Special Representative for Children in Armed Conflict, Vanessa Frazier, she tweeted last night.
Vanessa. Man, it's really nice that we're voting the fairer sex to be in charge of international law conflicts.
Condemning
this is amazing. This is crazy.
As attacks on Iranian schools, leaving a large number of casualties.
This is wild.
Mostly children.
This is insane, right? And this is the image that she posted to show that Israel and the United States struck an Iranian school.
That's from her tweet from last night. Horrible picture, indeed. She posted this graphic image.
This is going to blow your minds.
Families in Iran standing among rows of black body bags.
Heartbreaking.
I agree, it's a horrible picture. But this photograph is not from the past few days.
What?
It was actually taken at the end of January. The dead in these bags that you see were civilians killed by the Iranian regime itself.
Absolute mic drop moment. The UN is compromised. Holy shit, dude. They posted this image in body bags to condemn us and Israel, all right, for striking a school. This image was actually taken after the Iranian regime massacred over 30,000 of their own protesters, okay? And they had nothing to say about that. The Iranian regime systematically massacred between 30 and 100,000 people. Just massacred, butchered them in the streets, stacked them in body bags, all right? And the UN was silent. And now they're using images of Iranian terrorism and war crimes from this Islamic regime and claiming that it was us that did it. Honestly, mic drop. It's over. The UN is occupied. This is absolute, unbelievable levels of bullshit.
Killed by the same regime now firing missiles at our cities.
Right, so if you condemn this picture, all right, but why don't you condemn the actual regime that did exactly this instead of using this as propaganda against us?
While this image is being circulated by a UN representative, Israeli children were being killed and injured by Iranian missiles. No tweet about them, no condemnation for them, no urgency for them.
Obviously.
Ms. Fraser,
because they don't care.
If you wish to fulfill your mandate, condemn the Iranian attack that murdered Israeli children.
No, but they actually don't care because they're actually on the side of the Islamic terrorist pedophiles. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Now, if you want to really be sickened, this is the IRGC, actual Iranian terrorist forces hiding in a Tehran elementary school. All right, this is where the current military is, literally hiding in schools. Again, it's a war crime, not that anyone's counting, and the UN has nothing to say about this, but they are quite literally using children as human shields. Again, just like Hamas did in Gaza, just like Hezbollah did in Lebanon, and they all do this same shtick, and they will sit behind their human shields in order to use the corpses of Iranian children as their little propaganda puppets to talk about how horrible the United States is for attacking them. And this is where they are, sitting in an actual elementary school, to use children as human shields. So, and also, by the way, it's been proven that the United States, quote-unquote, strike on the Iranian school that killed 150 children was an Iranian strike. It's an Iranian missile that misfired and they blew up their own school. All right? I'm not even exaggerating. I covered this in a previous video. So, just layers upon layers of irony here. The UN will condemn us for this. The UN will condemn us for this photo, which was actually a photo from when the Iranian regime massacred their own people. All right, and she deleted it. All right, good stuff. She deleted the photo. People are attacking the photo, not the message, bro. These people are actually demons. They're actually evil people using these children, which are murdered because terrorists are fucking bad at their jobs or good at their jobs, depending on how you view the job of a terrorist, and they use it to attack us, all right? The IDF caught 15 Palestinian terrorists at checkpoints, hiding in a car, attempting to enter Jerusalem and murder Jews. You know, they're just catching them, and honestly, we have to be worried about this too, because we had an Iranian attack, Iranian-inspired terrorist attack in the United States too, more than one even. It's honestly insane, more than one even. Right? We had that one guy with the Iranian shirt that said property of Allah killing people in Austin, Texas. We had another stabbing in Washington. It's honestly insane that these people are like this. Now, of course, the stock market is doing well because turns out war is good for stocks or something. Now, this is a crazy article. Groundbreaking new study finds Islamophobia may be partially caused by Muslims killing people all the time. Now, I personally cannot condemn this. Experts are baffled. Experts are baffled. Muslim scholar says it's okay to rape non-Muslim women to humiliate them. Experts are baffled as to why this rise in Islamophobia is happening in the United States. Perhaps it's Muslims killing people all the time, but that is still open to speculation. No one knows. Now, to understand the threat that we're actually facing, over 700 Iranian nationals were released into the U.S. during the Biden administration despite terrorism concerns. All right, so understand the level of internal threat we're dealing with. First, Democrats open the borders on purpose. Then, Democrats Democrats let tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country, including at least 700 Iranian nationals, despite terrorism concerns. Now, Democrats refuse to fund the Department of Homeland Security, putting our country at heightened risk in the midst of mounting threats. This is unbelievable. And we have enemies from within, and it's so obvious. All right, now I've been getting tons of death threats over stuff like this. Very entertaining stuff. Taku's mangled corpse flying through the Tel Aviv skyline. I don't know how I would get to Tel Aviv, but apparently that's where we're at right now. All right, nice, sexy 60,000 likes. All right, I can't believe this is how I found out he died. 70,000 likes. You love to see it. Taku, haha, these memes are epic. The Iranian missile heading to his house. Again, this is pretty awesome. Just, I could pull up more tweets like this. Apparently, my coverage of this entire situation warrants my death by terrorists or something. Also, I am not in Tel Aviv. I find this a very fun narrative. I appreciate the narrative, but that's not where I am. I guess if you're Jewish, you must be living in Tel Aviv. I guess that's just how it works. But they're just anti-Zionists. They're not anti-Semites. So, yeah, anyway, thanks for the content, retards. Thank you for proving exactly what I've been saying the entire time is correct, that you actually quite literally just hate people for having a difference of opinion and you want them to die. Thank you. I appreciate it. Your demonstration has proven myself correct in ways that even I could not have done without your assistance. Thanks for the content. Sorry to disappoint. Anyway, the amount of death threats I'm getting is actually astronomical. These are just some of the viral ones. It's insane.